All right, Chicago, we are back. And it's time for us to continue our Year 3 offseason with your Chicago Blackhawks. We're up here at free agency, just past the NHL entry draft and the re-sign stage, and our team looks very similar to the team that lost to the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Stanley Cup Finals. So the hopes are high for next season, but we are moving on from a few players. I'll bring up the proposed trade screen just so you guys can see. We moved on from Tyler Myers, and we are trying to move on from Duncan Keith. He's just getting a little bit too old, and that salary cap, or that salary is becoming a little bit of an issue, and it's going to be a big issue if he doesn't retire by the end of next season, and I have to hold on to him, because if I can't trade him now, I can't trade him next year, and we're going to be screwed. So our goaltender situation, Sergei Bobrovsky, is fine for another 2 years, and we have Forsberg as our backup for this season, so nothing wrong with our goaltender situation. Defensively, all right, so we have Adam Bachfis, our first-line right defenseman. Travis Sanheim picked up from the Philadelphia Flyers for Tyler Myers. Those two are going to be on the same line, and then Joka Harju and Ekholm are going to be on the top four. So there's our top four defensemen, two righties, two lefties. What I wanna figure out is who's going on the bottom six. If we have to keep Duncan Keith, I'm going to use Duncan Keith, and then maybe Santini and Galvis. They can be 1A, 1B again. If one of them's playing better, I'll leave him in there. But if we start to lose some games, I'll throw the other one in there, and they could be the depth defenseman just like last season. So I won't touch the blue line if we can't get rid of Duncan Keith. If we can get rid of Duncan Keith, I'd like to go out and sign a good defender to replace him and then still use Santini and Galvis. But I haven't signed Santini yet to a contract just because we don't have that much salary cap. It all depends on if I can get Duncan Keith off the team. And forwards, we have Kane, Panarin, DeBrincat, Taves, Bjorkstrand, Nemestikov, Schmaltz, Miles Wood, and Kostopoulos, and then Hayden, McGinn, and boom. We don't have anyone there. We can use Andronov and Kurt Adams as our depth players, but we're going to need at least one fourth line right winger and one depth forward. All right, so I need a depth defender and a depth forward, and we have to still try to trade away Duncan Keith. So I already edited my trading block. I'll show you guys quickly. He's the only player available on the trading block, and now that we're at free agency, a lot of teams should have some salary cap available. I don't know if they're going to target Duncan Keith or not, but I'm looking for any kind of draft pick. I will just give him away. If you give me a 7th for Duncan Keith, I will give it to you, no problem. So we still have, like $5.5 million of cap space available. Yeah, 5.215. So let's go after the players that we know we want. So the defensemen, right? Can't target any of these defensemen just yet. Have to wait to see what happens with Duncan Keith. If he doesn't move, we have our blue line. So Dougie Hamilton, Jake Gardner, those guys are a little bit too good, and that salary is a little bit too much. Next year, we have to sign Bachfist, Joka Harju, a lot of our young guns. So I can't afford right now to go long-term with another top 4 defenseman. But a guy like Alexander Edler, who's 35 years of age, this would work out. I know Duncan Keith is old, but Edler I could get on a 1-year deal at $2.5 million. Just use him for one season. Even if he drops off, that veteran poise might be what we need in the Stanley Cup Finals if we get back there again. And if you take a look at his stats, 9 points. He doesn't take penalty minutes. It was only at 21. And he's the type of defenseman that I love to use. You can use him in any situation. He hits, he blocks shots, and his giveaways and takeaways could be a little bit better. But as his stats go down, that's going to happen. But you can trust him on the penalty kill, and he's going to get top 6 minutes. So I'd rather have Edler than Keith, and then Santini and Galvis as our 6th and 7th defenseman, and then we can bring up any one of our prospects if we get 2 injuries in there. So Alexander Edler, but I can't put a deal in on him just yet until we know if Duncan Keith is off the team. But forwards, all right, so you got Derek Stepan, Brassard, Bjugstad. Remember, we need a 4th-line right winger. Alexander Steen, Stastny. Now, Zach Hyman popped out at me. I really like his stats. I know I'm a Toronto Maple Leaf fan, but that's not the reason. If you take a look at what he does, takeaways, giveaways. He's got more takeaways than giveaways. He hits and he blocks shots. So throw him on the 4th-line right wing, and he also kills penalties. That could work. The only problem is that Zach Hyman wants close to $3 million, and he's 29, so he wants 2 years. Not something I want to do. These guys I only want to give 1-year deals to, so I'm going to go down a little bit further, and we have Jonas Donskoy, who's very similar, 29 years of age, doesn't take penalty minutes, doesn't put up too many points. But if you go all the way down here, takeaways are much higher than the giveaways. Doesn't throw as many body checks or block as many shots as Zach Hyman. That might have been because Hyman was killing penalties on the Toronto Maple Leafs. But those takeaways to giveaways, that would be perfect for the 4th line. So Jonas Donskoy, I will give you a contract offer of 1 year at 2.25. I want to make sure I get Donskoy, all right? So there you go. And I can offer one more forward a contract. We're going to bring back the man who linked up the third line last season, Craig Smith. He was a great two-way forward for us. Him with Jackson Kostopoulos and John Hayden, I believe. And the third line was pretty good. And if I show you his stats, same thing. More takeaways than giveaways. Doesn't throw as many hits or block as many shots as Zach Hyman, but I got to believe that Hyman was just further up in the lineup. Also doesn't take any penalty minutes. So that's going to be our 12th and 13th forward. This is going to be another depth guy for us. Actually, Smith wants close to $3 million as well. That's going to be an issue. I can't bring him in. No, I can't bring him in. Hang on a second. Let's try to find some other players here. Coleman. I know he's a center. What's his face-off rating? I can't really see it. What's his stats? I just need a guy who can be trusted defensively. Yeah, there you go. More takeaways than giveaways, block shots, and hits. There you go. Blake Coleman. You are going to be offered a contract to join the Chicago Blackhawks. So 1 year. All right, we'll go up to 1.950. So Donskoy and Coleman, that will be our 12th and 13th forward. We already have our 6th and 7th defenseman, but if we trade away Duncan Keith, then I need to get back to free agency and see what we can do. So let's advance a few days. I've already taken care of the scouting situation. We have all the same scouts. I went out and I got one scout to help out with the SHL Sweden. But other than that, we have all the scouts. There he is. Patrick Lebda. He is our Swedish SHL scout. Coleman has accepted our deal, and Jonas Donskoy has accepted our deal. All right, so no word about Duncan Keith. This is going to be an issue. I could always buy him out at the end of next season because he'll have 1 year left. But I'd love to get him off the team right now. So let me just go back to defenseman quickly. Let's see, Alexander Edler. Is he still there? No, see, all these defensemen are going to get taken. Yeah, what's his name? Gardner already got taken, and Edler already got taken. Teams are now targeting Dougie Hamilton, 6 teams after him. So it may actually be in our best interest right here to just hold on to Duncan Keith for 1 more season. I mean, I want to dump that salary, but realistically, I can't make a trade for a defenseman right now. And he should be good enough to play in the top 6. It's just the salary that's becoming an issue. So let me sim to the next season. Let's just go like another 5-10 seconds here. If they're going to make a trade for Duncan Keith, it should happen right away. It's not going to happen close to preseason. Either teams want him or they don't want him. Once all those defensemen in free agency go, there we go. We got a trade offer from the Boston Bruins. All right, so the Boston Bruins want to give us a second for Duncan Keith and a third. So basically, we're turning our third into a second along with Duncan Keith. That's a pretty good deal. The only thing is, there are no more defensemen available in free agency. So if we go through with this, Galvis and Santini are our 5th and 6th defensemen, and we're going to have to find another. The problem is, if Duncan Keith does not retire at the end of this season, I'm going to have to buy him out, and that's going to... You know what? A buyout wouldn't be that bad, because it'll be 1 year left, and then it'll cost 2... There's a lot of players that I have to sign. Damn it, what do I do here? What do I do? You know what? I don't have any other defensemen, and I'm not making any trades. I'm going to hold on to Duncan Keith right now. Yeah, this may be a pain in the ass. This may be the wrong decision, but we already dumped Tyler Myers. We have a few more contracts that we can dump next season if Duncan Keith doesn't retire, but... Ideally, he retires at the end of this year after winning 1 more Stanley Cup. So I'm going to decline that trade, and I'm going to edit the trading block. Duncan Keith, you have been taken off. Alexander Edler is not there anymore. They took too long to offer me a deal. Duncan Keith stays. All right. Oh, Steven Santini's been tendered an offer sheet of 1.9 for 3 years by the Montreal Canadiens. You have the necessary salary cap to match the offer. All right, so Santini, I want him back. 3 years is a little bit much, but 1.9, I'll always be able to move that contract. I could get a 3rd round pick out of it, but I don't need draft picks. I am going to match that offer. All right, there you go. Santini, welcome to the team. Well, welcome back to the team. So that's it. That is it. I was unable to switch out Duncan Keith for another defenseman, but it's all right. His veteran leadership on the top 6 could still be useful, and he's going to be like our 5th best defenseman, so we don't really need to rely on him. It's just the salary cap that's the problem. But we're going to free up $1 million there from Forsberg for next season. We have to pay Bachfist, we have to pay Yokoharju, we have to pay Ekholm. You know what, though? We don't really need to pay Ekholm. He'll be 31. If he has to go to free agency, so be it. But we got to get that 5.5 off the team. I'm hoping. He'll be 30. He'll be 38. I think he just turned 38. I'm hoping that he retires by the end of next season. I could always trade away Santini as well. There's $2 million I can free up. Galvis, I got to sign him next season. But we have this guy Jensen. I think he was drafted in year 2. Year 2 in the 4th round. Yeah, he's coming up 77 overall. All right, so that's good. So there are our defensemen. And then forwards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's Donskoy 7, 8, 9. There's Coleman 10, 11, 12. 13 is Kostopoulos. 14 Andronov and Adams. All right, so pretty good. I could use, you know what? I could use maybe one more depth forward if we're not bringing up our young gun. So let me go back to free agency just one more time. Just it doesn't even need to be a good guy. It could be on like a two-way deal. I have enough defenders to bring up. I could use one more forward just in case Andronov and Adams are not ready to go in the NHL this year. I only have one injury forward or depth forward. So no, I don't need any of you guys. What's my salary cap? 1.8. I just need Carlson, Cordills. The name will pop out at me. Hang on. Brendan Tanev. There you go. That could be a good one. Checker. Two-way forward. 29 years of age. Let's see. Not too many penalty minutes. What kind of numbers does he put up? Yeah, a lot of giveaways, but he's hitting, he's blocking shots. Remember, this guy's not playing. He's the depth forward for us. What about Larson? Hang on. I'm trying to find these guys who can be trusted defense. There you go. Larson's much better. All right, so Johan Larson, welcome to the Chicago Blackhawks. 1 year, 1.3. That works out for me. All right, and we're good. We're good to go. Everyone has been signed. We have our goaltenders. We have our blue line. We have our forwards. Let's get a good chunk of the year 4 regular season done. So I'll take care of the rest, and let's jump to preseason. Larson is on the team. Okay, so here we are, preseason year number 4. I'll take care of the trading block and all that good stuff. Let's jump to edit lines and see what we have. Now, with the scouting, it's all going to be changed again. Yes, it is. So I'm going to have to go through all this and once again get our scouts to figure out who has grown and what the real overalls are. So let me just go to goaltenders. We got Bobrovsky and Forsberg, yeah, in the system. We have our elite goaltender, Punanovs. He's 70 overall. I want him to start in the AHL. I'm also going to have to beef up that AHL squad. I'll do that with free agency when I start to edit some lines. But we have Bachvis, Jokiharju, Sanheim, Ekholm. Keith is still 80 overall, but that's 3-bar, right? We have to re-scout them all now that the new season has started. So I'm hoping that he hasn't dropped off too much. Santini and Galvis, yeah, that's our defensive core. Looks good. Forwards, we got Patrick Kane, we got Panarin, we got Taves. Oh my god, I just hit my freaking elbow off the table. Fuck. DeBrincat, Bjorkstrand, Donskoy, Schmaltz, Nemesnikov, Coleman, Wood, Hayden, McGinn, Kostopoulos. Yeah, so Jackson Kostopoulos is being put in the NHL right away. And Larson we're going to bring up also. Now, Andronov and Adams, they were in the AHL last season, so there's no reason to bring them into the NHL right away. The reason being is it's not like I just drafted them from the CHL where you can play them 9 games to see. I'm just going to leave them in the AHL. And once the AHL scouts uncover their overall, I can bring them up if they are good enough in the 2nd or 3rd month of the season. Let them start the year in the AHL. I'll give them some good forwards to play with because I don't see them jumping to like from 74 up to 80, 73 up to 80, more like 73 to 77, 78, 79. If that's the case, I mean, I will play them, but we made the Stanley Cup Finals last season. Let's go with, if we're going with guys who are 78, 79, let's go with established NHLers like Larson, McGinn, Hayden. We already have Kostopoulos who's getting his rookie season this year. He came in the playoffs, right? Yeah, the AHL. I mean, this is what Jackson Kostopoulos did last year in the AHL. In the playoffs, though, he looked ready. +7, 10 points in 23 games played. So this is going to be his rookie year. Our draft pick from year number 1 in the 2nd round, 54th overall, Jackson Kostopoulos. And in the system, Andronov and Adams are going to be on the first line. So I got to find them like a right wing. So let me go to edit lines. We'll go best lines quickly, and I'll just see what we have. I'll go through the rest of them and the AHL and figure all that out. So DeBrincat, Kane, and Panarin, they were great during last year's regular season. They were great during the first 2 rounds. Kane scored the overtime winner against Dallas in Game 7 in round number 2. But in the 3rd round and the Stanley Cup Final, this line just stopped scoring. Now, I don't want to break them apart just yet because we're back to the regular season and we have to get back to the playoffs. So we're going with offense. DeBrincat, Kane, and Panarin. 2nd line, we're going Nemesnikov, Taves, and Bjorkstrand. This line was the best line for us in the playoffs. So during the regular season, I just need to make sure that they don't shit the bed. 3rd line, we got Jackson Kostopoulos. I'm going to use Jackson on the 3rd line. I'm willing to bet he has jumped from a 4th line forward up to a 3rd line checker or a 3rd line scorer. He's going to play alongside of Nick Schmaltz and Miles Wood. I got a bunch of left wingers here. Hang on. Left winger. Yeah, I got a bunch of left wingers. I just need some righties. Donskoy. Should I use Don? You know what? I'm going to use Donskoy on the third line right wing just to start. We'll see how it works out. If it doesn't work out, I can always switch it up. And then we'll go Hayden, McGinn, and Miles Wood. Actually, what was the Jackson Kostopoulos line in the playoffs? It was like Jackson Kostopoulos, Smith, and Miles Wood, right? Because then it was Schmaltz, Hayden, and McGinn. Yeah, some sort of combination. Shit, I forget. So we'll just go with this for now, sure. Defensively, Sanheim, Bachfist, yeah, Jokiharju, Ekholm, yeah, Duncan Keith, and Santini. Yeah, everything worked out. Santini was the one that got the contract, right? Or was it Galvis? I think Santini was the one. Yeah, so we got to play Santini because he got the contract. We don't want him dropping off. So that's that. And then the scratch players is going to be Jacob Galvis, who is 22, but he's only got that medium top 6 potential, so he's fine as a depth forward. Coleman, I have to get in there, and Larson. So, I mean, I could take out Hayden. I could take out McGinn. We have a lot of players. It looks like the guys that I have right now is if we start to lose games, I want to throw them in there. Yeah, so I'll go through all this step by step. I might even throw Coleman in there instead of Hayden to start. I don't know what I'm going to do. So power of video editing, let me go through and get preseason ready to go. All right, I've got the team, the AHL squad, and the NHL squad are ready to go for year number 4. Our trade block has already been taken care of, but let me show you guys the lineups. And I raided free agency. Any veteran players that were available that wanted two-way contracts because no other team offered them, I made sure to pick them up for the AHL squad. So we'll go through the NHL first, then the AHL, and then we'll get year 4 started up. So same lines as before: Panarin, DeBrincat, Kane, Bjorkstrand, Taves, Nemesnikov, Kostopoulos, Schmaltz, and Donskoy, and Hayden, Coleman, and Wood. All right, so the two forwards that are sitting are going to be Johan Larson and Brock McGinn. So two guys that we can bring in. I even think McGinn, let's see, 70 for faceoff. Larson, what's his faceoff rating? 74. All right, so these guys could also just play center if we need them to. But I'm going to go with Coleman. I want to see what that overall is like. I also liked his individual stats. And I wanted to leave Hayden in there as the power forward for us. So Jackson Kostopoulos, you're getting the chance. We're going to see what that fourth line can do. And the top 6 should be just as good as last year. The blue line: Sanheim, Bachfist, Jokiharju, Ekholm, Duncan, Keith, and Santini. And Galvis is the man on the bench. So I can always make that change. Galvis for Santini if we start to lose some games. But he's going to be there for injuries, which are bound to come. Power play is the exact same as our top 6. We're keeping those players together so that we don't mess up their ice time. Panarin, DeBrincat, Kane, Bachfist, Sanheim, Nemesnikov, Taves, Bjorkstrand, Jokiharju, Ekholm. I wanted to see if I could get Jackson Kostopoulos some power play time, but we made it to the Stanley Cup Finals last year with this top 6. We have to improve. We need to try to win another Stanley Cup before it gets too late. Jackson Kostopoulos' power play game is coming soon. He'll probably replace Nemesnikov one day, but as of right now, it's not time. 4-man power play. Now look at this. I'm going with one defenseman on both lines and keeping the top 6 together. DeBrincat, Kane, and then the sniper, Panarin, on the point. And then Taves, Bjorkstrand. Actually, you know what? I wanted Nemesnikov there. And then Bjorkstrand, the sniper, on the point. There you go. All right. So Taves, Nemesnikov, Jokiharju, and Bjorkstrand, DeBrincat, Kane, Panarin, and Bachfist. Now the penalty kill. Now we had Jonathan Taves on the PK before, but this season I want to see if I can take him off the PK so he gets more 5-on-5 and more power play time, and we can give the penalty kill to our bottom 6. So we got Nick Schmaltz and Blake Coleman as our 2 centers, Donskoy and Jackson Kostopoulos. We're gonna see what this guy can do for us in the penalty kill position. He takes the puck away a hell of a lot more than he gives it away. That was in the AHL, and in the playoffs, same thing. Look at the takeaways to giveaways. Now, what scares me is that he doesn't throw a lot of body checks, and I don't know if he's blocking shots. He may be kind of a sniper, somebody who shoots the puck a lot. That's why he doesn't have a lot of giveaways. I'm not sure, but I'm going to put him in there. We'll see what the first month's penalty kill numbers look like. If our penalty kill becomes an issue, then Jonathan Taves can always go back in there. But with Sergei Bobrovsky back in the net and a good defensive core, our penalty kill should be good. We're going with Ekholm, Jokiharju, Bachfist, Sanheim. All right, Coleman and Schmaltz. Even on the 3-on-3, Jonathan Taves is not in there. Extra attackers: DeBrincat, Kane, Sanheim, Bachfist, Taves, Panarin, Jokiharju, Ekholm. home, Nemesnikov, I put him in the middle with Bjorkstrand, Santini, and Duncan Keith. And 3-on-3, it looks like that. We don't have to say everything. Extra attackers, Patrick Kane, Jonathan Taves, and the shootout, Kane, Panarin, DeBrincat, Bachfist, and Jonathan Taves, all right? Goaltenders, we got Bobrovsky and Forsberg, and the scratch players, once again, Larson, Galvis, and McGinn. So I think that's a pretty good team. I like it. We're going to need to rely on our top 6 to really get all the goals, but we have the superstar goaltender, and I think our blue line now is Sanheim, even though Duncan Keith has dropped off. Jokiharju and Bachvist have gotten better. So you can make the argument our team is better this year compared to last year. No one except for Duncan Keith has dropped off, and he's been replaced, so it's not that big of a deal. All right, so that is the NHL squad. Now here, look at the AHL squad. I raided the AHL. Travis Zajac, I was able to get on a 1-year, 2-way deal at .750. So he's 79 overall with 3 bar. He's probably dropped, but that's some good depth, I think. And he gets to play alongside of Andronov and Kurt Adams, 2 guys that we're trying to grow. Kurt Adams was drafted in year number 1. He's 73 with that low elite. And Andronov, same thing, drafted in year number 1 in the third round. 74 overall, low elite. Now they're playing with the veteran Travis Zajac in the AHL, all right? We also have this guy, Sven Johnson, who we just drafted in the first round, the sniper. He gets to play in the AHL right away. He's going to be playing with Evan Rodriguez and Seth Griffith, so he's got that sniper to pass to. We also have Kabanov. When did I draft this guy? He was in the 3rd round, playmaker. He's ready to go, so 69 overall. He's playing with Noel Achari and Joel Colburn. And then Tiro Vatanen was this guy? Yeah, drafted this guy in the year 2 in the 4th round. Low elite. He's playing on the 4th line with Glendening and Zykov, all right? So we got a bunch of forwards here that we're trying to get better in the AHL. And also Nicholas Jensen, 77 overall, low elite. He was drafted in the 4th round in year number 3. This guy looks like he's ready to go. Talola, Snuggerud, Fallen. Yeah, I mean, I got all these guys who didn't get picked up by any teams. We got Putanovs and Westerholm I picked up. Made sure that he was worse than 70 overall, so he will get the start. Putanovs will. And then our scratch players, we got tons, but none of these guys are the players that we want to grow, okay? So I made sure about that. We are good to go. So that is that, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? Oh, you know what? I just did a lot of shit. I want to save this. I know you guys are going to accuse me of screwing around, but you know what? I'll keep the save in the video file so that you guys can tell, all right? So save file. Hang on a second. Create new file. Yeah. Now, I just spent like half an hour freaking going through free agency and the offseason stuff, and I haven't started the preseason. If for some reason my computer shut down right now, I want to make sure that I have that. So, here, or my Xbox shuts down, I want to make sure that I have that. So here we go, preseason in year number 4. I've got my scouting taken care of. I got my trading block. I got my lines. Yeah, I'm just thinking. Yeah, we're good to go. So let's start it up. Year number 4. Can your Chicago Blackhawks return to the Stanley Cup Finals for the 5th time in, what, 11 years? That's getting pretty good. If only we could have won that 4th Stanley Cup last season, though. So we'll get by preseason. We'll get up to the first game of the year up against the Washington Capitals. We'll go the first month. I don't want to make any impulsive line changes by bringing up our depth forwards or our depth defenseman and what was his name? Galvis. I want to go a month and we'll see what the power play and penalty kill stats look like. I'm pretty sure, pretty sure 5-on-5 it should be good. I mean, Sergei Bobrovsky makes the big difference back there, and Patrick Kane, like the superstars in this game make the big difference because at the end of the day, they're going to get their points. And if you can combine a superstar goaltender with a superstar forward who's point per game and maybe even a 50-goal season, yeah, you're good because Bobrovsky's going to get around .920 save percentage and Patrick Kane's going to get all those goals. It's going to even out at the end of the year for a lot of wins. So salary cap compliance, yeah, we are compliant. Let us start up the regular season. So were we perfect in regular or preseason? We were 5-1 in preseason. Now that preseason is complete, would you like to assign? I've already done that. I've already made sure they're in the right regions. So once I start the year, the pro scouts and the amateur scouts will naturally go out to the spots that they should be going out to. So I just got preseason done. Let me just go back because this is the Fog of War scouting option that we have on. I want to make sure Or I want to see. Oh, we have. Yeah, we've seen some growth already. So Panarin's up to 89 overall. I want to take a look at their potential as well. Patrick Kane. All right, so Patrick Kane has lost his franchise tag. He's still exact elite, but his best years are now behind him. He's 32 years of age. Yeah, it's coming to a close for Patrick Kane. Now his contract. How many more years does he have left on his contract? 2 more years. So we have to get 2 more years out of that. That's rough. Jonathan Toews. He still has. Whoa! Did Jonathan Toews go back up? I think Jonathan Toews went back up. Didn't he have top 6 potential last season? Did he jump back up to exact elite potential? All right, so Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane are still just fine. Nemesnikov has jumped up to an 84 overall. That's really good. Bjorkstrand, we haven't uncovered him just yet. Jackson Kostopoulos, he should be on the second line. All right, so if he's on the second line, I'm going to try to go Jackson Kostopoulos on the second alongside of Jonathan Toews. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that because Nemesnikov is more of a, you know what, I got to try it though, because we got to continue to grow this guy. He's got that second line forward. So Nemesnikov, how many more years left does he have? 2 more years at 3.7. I'll be able to move him at the end of the year if I need to. And now he has been pushed back. So I want to see what that second line does. If it doesn't work out, I'll go back Nemesnikov on that first line. But that's good. Schmaltz, Donskoy, Coleman, 81, Hayden, and Wood. All right, what about blue line? Bachvist up to 86, Sanheim 86. Still got to uncover Sanheim. Yokoharju 84. Duncan Keith 4-bar scouting, and he's 80 overall. So he hasn't dropped. So he'll be useful for this season. That's fine. Goaltender Sergei Bobrovsky still has his exact elite, so good. Bobrovsky, Kane, and Toews will all be exact elite for this season. And if they drop off for next season, it'll be starter, top 6, top 6. It'll still be a good season. So we have 2 years here. Another 2 years. We made the cup last year, or we made the final last year. We have another 2 years, this year and next year, with our top guns to really get something done, all right? So that's nice. And the AHL, have we uncovered anything? Haven't uncovered much about the AHL just yet. All right. So that's good, man. Panarin, oh yeah, Kostopoulos. I'm really interested to see what Jackson Kostopoulos does. So I'll leave him in there. All right, Jackson Kostopoulos. In his rookie season, I mean, he could win the Rookie of the Year. At 83 overall as a rookie, starting on the second line. I mean, I still have Nemesnikov on the second line power play. I don't want to take that out because I know the power play works well, but let's just see what Jackson Kostopoulos' stats look like at the end of 1 month. All right, so we'll go 1 month here. Let's see. Oh, man, I'm interested to see what happens. So game 1 at Washington in the Eastern Conference, and we lose in a shootout. Don't worry about that. Sergei Bobrovsky feeling more of that playoff performance from our offense. He gives us a great game, doesn't get beat in the overtime frame, and then gets beat in a shootout, and his team only gave him 1 goal. But they answer back with a 6-3 victory and a 3-2 victory. 3-2 loss to the Dallas Stars, 5-3 victory. Again, oh man, the Pittsburgh Penguins hate us. That's 11-6 in 2 games. The Winnipeg Jets, the Year 1 Stanley Cup champs. We're not going to worry about the scouting report right now. We do have our first round pick. Don't have a lot of salary cap available. If I could combine Duncan Keith and a first for another player, I'd do it, but no team right now is going to take Duncan Keith. I got to use him this season and either buy him out or hopefully he retires, man. It's going to be one of those rough years for us. So a loss to the LA Kings, a loss to the Arizona Coyotes. Offense, it's weird. So far this season, it's like when we win big, but then when we lose, we're not scoring any goals. Like a 5-1 victory against Philly. Okay, let me just go back through this month. Interesting month. 7-3-1 to start the year. Pretty good. But like when we lose, right, 1 goal 4. When we win, 6 goals 4. That's a good game. That's an okay game. 5 goals 4. That's a good game by Bobrovsky. 1 goal 4. All right, 1 goal 4, and then 5, and then 6. Yeah, interesting. So when we play well, we score a lot. When we don't, we get like shut out or 1 goal against. So okay, good. So that first, let's see what I mean. Why couldn't the first line do this for us in the Western Conference Final and the Stanley Cup Final? That's what I need from our first line. 17 points in 11 games played for Artemi Panarin. So I'll get to the player stats in a second. Let me take a look at the team stats. So goals for per game, we're above 3. That's perfect. If we could stay there all year long, that'd be great. Goals against per game, if we can get that below 2.25, I'd be happy. Power play percentage, 21.4. So Nemesnikov on the power play is working out. We're above 20%. Penalty kill, okay, our penalty kill is horrible, 62.5%. So let's change that up. It also might be that's the only way teams could score on us, like just because of the simulation. Like our 5-on-5 is too good, but the penalty kill, 62.5, then we're still 7-3-1. Player stats, let me see here. Alrighty, so forwards. We got Panarin, Kane, DeBrincat. Yeah, they're all plus players, and they're all point-per-game players, essentially. Nick Schmaltz on the third line is doing great. And Nemesnikov. Alright, so... yeah, Taves is only 4 points. So Jackson Kostopoulos is not playing great on that second line. Now, he could play great on the second. It's just that it's probably just the player types that he's matched up alongside of. So takeaways to giveaways, yeah. So what we're going to do with Jackson here, I'm going to find some other ways to get him some ice time. I know he's a second line forward, but we got to find him some other ways to get some ice time. And I might even put him on the power play, but put Nemesnikov back on the top 6 5-on-5. The first line is killing it. The second line needs to get going. So, Jackson, I'm going to switch you up with Nemesnikov. Nemesnikov was doing great on that third line. All right, so I'm going to switch them up a little bit. Jonas Donskoy was playing fine. John Hayden, yeah, the fourth line is only a -1, -3. Miles Wood, the fourth line is fine. Defensively, I'm not changing that. All right, now, okay, so let me go to special teams. What kind of points do the second line power play have? Jonathan Taves only has 1 power play point in 11 games played. What about Nemesnikov? Because this is the line, I could put Jackson Kostopoulos in here. All right, Nemesnikov has no power play points. So all of his points, all of his 7 points are 5-on-5. So let's take Nemesnikov off the power play and put Jackson Kostopoulos in there. So we'll get a little bit more ice time. All right, and the penalty kill. Let me see. Let me try to put Jackson Kostopoulos on the first with Nick Schmaltz. Coleman. Let me see what Coleman's stats look like. Should he be killing penalties? Yeah, he's fine. He should be killing penalties. That's fine. It's early, but he's got more takeaways and giveaways. And Jonas Donskoy, let's see. Oh, yeah, he should be killing penalties. All right, so I don't know why our penalty kill is so bad right now. Might be like a guy like Jukka Harju on the first. He's a little bit more of an offensive-based defenseman. So let's take Jukka Harju out of there. And let's go with Santini. He's the defensive defenseman. Let's just try him out. Ekholm and Santini. Yeah, let's see what that does. 3-man penalty kill, same thing. I'm going to go, no. Jukka Harju. I'm going to throw Santini in there. So our penalty kill was, what, 65%? I mean, it's got to go up. It's only got one way to go. Sergei Bobrovsky. All right, so Jackson Kostopoulos has been put down on the third line just because we want to get that second line going. And but we made sure to give him some second line power play time and first line penalty kill time. So his ice time will still resemble second line ice time. So I don't think that will stunt his growth at all. Also, we just went a month. Let me go back to edit lines. I should have done this already. My bad. I just want to take a look at the AHL squad. Let's see what we got here. So Kurt Adams is a legit 75 overall, so he needs to be playing in the AHL. And Andronov is a legit 77 overall, a fourth line forward, but he's a playmaker, and I don't see him as a center. His faceoffs is only at 65. He's got great passing. His offensive awareness needs to get better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave him in the AHL for one more year. Travis Zajac is dropped to a 74. All right, that's fine. And Janssen's a 73. You know what? Fuck this. I'm going to put Janssen up here, because he's that sniper as well. And then we'll have 2 snipers along with Andronov. And these are all of our draft picks. Kurt Adams, Janssen, and Andronov. So why not? Vatanen and Kabanov. Kabanov's gotten better as well. Center. What's his face? 62. So he's a lefty. Let me throw him on here with Rodriguez and Griffith. All right. There you go. Let me just go to special teams. Hang on. Andronov, Kurt Adams, and Janssen. I want to get these guys in there. There you go. Play these guys and see what they can do for us. All right. Goaltenders, what about Punanovs? Punanov's up at 73 overall. So this is the replacements for Sergei Bobrovsky. Sergei Bobrovsky's getting up there in age. I'd say 2, 3, 4 more years. Somewhere in that window, you make the change. So let's try one more month or another month with the new lineups. Jackson Kostopoulos has been put back down to the third line. He doesn't understand regular season hockey. He was a fantastic player during the playoffs, but now during the regular season, the grind of the regular season, you know, he's finding it hard to adjust, flying all over the country, flying all over the continent. All right, so a 5-2 loss to the Vancouver Canucks, a 1-0 loss to the Buffalo Sabres, a 2-1 loss to the Florida Panthers, and all of a sudden, 7-3-1 has turned to 7-6-1. Man, Jackson Kostopoulos off that second line might have been hurting a little bit. All right, so I have to just go the month. I have to take a look at the stats, read some players, and I might even make some line changes after that. But first things first, so we're going to take the first 2 months and figure out who's playing well with who so we can keep it the same. So Rockford player Tero Vatanen, I think he was one of my guys, so I got to remember that. November 21st, I will replace that player, Tero Vatanen. I think he was one of my guys that I wanted to grow, so I got to make sure he gets back in there. 5-1 loss to the Oilers, a 4-2 loss to the Arizona Coyotes. Not good, man. All right, so I'll edit the players manually, or edit the lines manually. I think it was Soshnikov. Yeah, I don't think he was playing. Vatanen, yeah, there he is. Let's see, what was he? Yeah, Lowly. I was right. There you go. So Vatanen's back in there. Hopefully he doesn't get injured again. If he does, whatever. Against the Vegas Golden Knights, I'm 5-3, so maybe I could put Jackson Kostopoulos back on that second line. I mean, I've seen losing streaks happen before. This is just half a month. You just have a bad half month. It gets solved with like a 5-game winning streak. We win 3 in a row, then a 3-2 loss to the Colorado Avalanche. Then another win, so 4 of the last 5 we've won. Coming into the end of the month, 2 more games. The Edmonton Oilers, a 3-2 victory. And the Nashville Predators, let's see. TSEC home up against his old team, and a 5-2 loss. All right, so we're kind of all over the place right now, 14-10-1. I know we're a good team. We're in that point where we just got to find the right lineups. All right, so the first line definitely slowed down a bit, but that's okay. They're still point per game. Team stats. All right, so I'd imagine our goals for has come down. Yeah. Goals for per game, 2.76, so we really stopped scoring goals. I want to get that above 3. Goals against per game, 2.52. So, yeah, we're starting to play pretty shitty. Power play, oh my God, the St. Louis Blues have a power play percentage after 25 games played of 37.5%. I mean, my power play is great at 22 point. If it stays like that, I guarantee you by the end of the year, it'll be one of the best power plays. Around 25% is where you want to be. Penalty kill has gotten better. Not too much better. I could always throw Jonathan Toews in the penalty kill to help it out. Let me just see. I mean, we are above 500. I just got to get the 5-on-5 lines going, I think. I think that's the big problem right now. So the first line's killing it. Panarin, Kane, and DeBrincat. They're doing their job. Schmaltz, -2. Bjorkstrand is still a -1, but he's got 10 goals now. He's on pace for like that 30-goal season, 25-30 goals. Nemesnikov, he's back to being a plus player on that second line, and Jonathan Toews' points is coming around as well. I think that second line is starting to play just fine. Donskoy, Kostopoulos, and what is it, Miles Wood? No, hang on. What's the third line? Nick Schmaltz, there you go. Nick Schmaltz -2, Donskoy, and Jackson Kostopoulos not having a great season in his rookie year. Let's see, -10, hasn't taken any penalties. What can I use this guy to do? What can I use him to do? I mean, giveaways, yeah, he's giving the puck away. You know what? This guy might be a little bit more offensive than I thought. Last season, I mean, the AHL is one thing because he's really good in the AHL, but the NHL, during the playoffs, he was much better. All right, so Jackson, you're giving the puck up a little bit too much. All right, so I'll keep an eye on that. Everyone else is just fine. I mean, Coleman, Wood, and Hayden, that fourth line is fine. They got 7, 7, 6, and they're only a -1, so the fourth line's not the issue. Defensively, defensemen are fine. Duncan Keith and Santini are playing great alongside of one another. Bachvist and Sanheim are only a -1. Could be slightly better, but it's not the reason we're losing. And Bobrovsky's save percentage, 914, could be slightly better, but yeah, man, I don't know. It's a weird start to the year. Weird start. I think it's Jackson Kostopoulos. We got to find a way. Like he's not producing. He's either too good for the third line, or I'm not breaking up that first line. Bjorkstrand, I'm keeping the sniper, the playmaker, Jonathan Toews, Jackson Kostopoulos. I got to keep them together. All right, Donskoy. Maybe Donskoy is the one I got to take out here. Don't want to break up that fourth line. So let's take out Jonas Donskoy, and let's try a depth forward here. We'll go with McGinn. He was on our team last year. Going to throw him in. All right, so McGinn, you're getting the chance. And in fact, I'm going to put a power forward up on the third line. I know I'm breaking up that fourth line, but Miles Wood is no, he's a two-way forward. Never mind. You know what? I don't want to break up that fourth line. Just let it go. We got the first and fourth line working. Second line seems to be coming along. We just got to get this third line going. So Nick Schmaltz, Jackson Kostopoulos, and McGinn, all two-way forwards. I just need them to play good defensively. All right? Special teams now. Power play was looking fine, so I'm not going to change the power play. Jackson Kostopoulos. Let's see how many power play points he's got. He's only got 1 power play point, so he's really not playing great. I'm going to take Jackson Kostopoulos off the power play. I'm going to put Nemesnikov back in there. Nemesnikov is that playmaker. Oh, he's a playmaker. Yeah, I thought he was a two-way forward. Yeah, he's a playmaker. Yeah, that's better for the Toews, Bjorkstrand, and Nemesnikov. So, Jackson Kostopoulos, I'm sorry, my man. And the penalty kill, I'm going to take Jackson Kostopoulos off the first line. I got to give him some ice time, but I'm going to take him off the first line. Nick Schmaltz. Let me see Nick Schmaltz's numbers. Is he giving the puck away too much? No, he's doing just fine. Yeah, he's doing just fine as a penalty killer. What about Coleman's stats, though? I might even want to move up Coleman. Nah, he's doing just fine as well. So Schmaltz and Coleman, they're doing fine. Santini is the new player playing on the penalty kill. McGinn, do I want McGinn? Bjorkstrand and Kane. Panarin, Nemestikov, Kostopoulos, Wood. You know what? Let's try Miles Wood out there. I know Miles Wood was a good player for us last season. Let me see his stats. Yeah, all right. So he's taking the puck away a lot more. So Miles Wood, there you go. You're gonna get in there, and Jackson Kostopoulos. Let me just take a look at his. Maybe he shouldn't be on the penalty kill. He's not really blocking a lot of shots. I'm going to give him one more chance on the penalty kill. Because if I take him off that and he's on the third line, then I am stunting his growth a little. Man, I don't want to have to trade Jackson Kostopoulos. Get going. I had ideas about rookie of the season. Oh, my God. He can't get going on that third line. I wish I could move him up to the first line and play him alongside of Patrick Kane. But that first line with Panarin, DeBrincat, and Kane are playing so well. It's almost like they're carrying our team's offensive load right now. The second line I want to get going. I don't want to move Nemesnikov down to the third line. Yeah, we're kind of in that weird spot. I just can't find the right lineup combination. So 14, 10, and 1. The last month we were 3 games above 500. We got it to 4 games. Well, now it's back down to 3. We got to have a good month here, man. Sergei Bobrovsky, he's given us the season that he always gives us. Just below 920. The first line's given us the season that they usually give us, point per game. Oh, my God. We're just not getting any depth goal scoring. I mean, look at these losses. 5-2 to Nashville, 4-0 to Vegas, 3-1 to Montreal. We win in overtime 2-1. We win in a shootout 2-1, and then we lose 3-2. We're not scoring goals right now. We are not scoring goals. Look at this. A 2-0 loss to Boston. 1-0 victory. We are not scoring goal. All right, I got to stop this. I got to stop this, Sim. We've got to find a way to score some offense. Oh, my God. Back to the line change screen. We are not scoring any goals right now. Okay, so edit lines. Yeah, even the first line is dropping off. Look at that, 27 points in 33 games played. All right, so edit lines. Let's see what we can do here. DeBrincat, Kane, and Taves. All right. Second line are now, second line is growing. Second line's starting to do better, so I'm not going to change that second line. Perhaps the second line doing better means that the first line is not doing as good as before. Yeah, Jackson Kostopoulos is now a -15. This fucking second line is not doing anything. Or this third line is not doing anything for us. Oh, my God. All right. Jackson, I'm going to move you back down to the fourth line, man. It's just not working out for us. Schmaltz, McGinn. No, I'm going to take McGinn out. What was McGinn's stats? Hang on. Let's see. It's a -3, not garbage. Let's try Larson. Shit, man. This third line's killing us. Larson. There you go. Get your ass in there. All right, so Larson's in there. Schmaltz. Wood. Yeah, I'm going to go with the line that was great last year. It's going to be Hayden, Schmaltz, and Wood. And then Jackson Kostopoulos with Coleman and Larson. All right? Jackson, man, you've got to get going. You've got to, now the fourth line is yours. You've got to command that fourth line. So he's a -15. Let's keep an eye on those numbers. Special teams, all right, and I'm also taking him off the penalty kill. Doesn't seem like it's working. All right, so Jackson, you're going to come off the penalty kill. I'm going to throw in, I already got Miles Wood in there. You know what? I might even need to just do this for a little bit. Hayden, Coleman. No, you know what? Jonathan Taser. Let's go, Taser. I need to use you for the penalty kill. Coleman, you can play on the side. Schmaltz, I'm not going to give him the first line penalty kill, but I need to have some depth in there. So you're going to go Santini, Bachfist. Yep. And also, you know what? I'm going to do something else with the power play lines. I'm going to go with Bachfist, and instead of Sanheim, I'm going to go with Jokiharju. I'm going to go with our top 2 guns in the power play and just load up with DeBrincat, Kane, and Panarin. And then Ekholm and Sanheim can be on the second line power play, all right? Penalty kill, let me just go back to this. You know what? Let's try to run with our big guns in the first line. PK, Bachfist, and Sanheim. And then Ekholm and Santini. All right. And same thing right here. I've got to start to use my good players to try to get back in this season. I mean, we got to make the playoffs. Once we're in the playoffs, everything changes. We have a team that is built for the playoffs with our stars and our goaltender and our depth. But right now, the first line's doing fine. The second line's coming around. I had to break up the fourth line because the third line is just shit in the bed. All right, so Jackson Kostopoulos down to the fourth line. If we can't get Jackson going, I mean, I don't want to trade him, but he would have great trade value, and we could get exactly what we need because, like I said, we have 2 years here to get it done with Patrick Kane and Jonathan Taves. I don't want to trade Jackson. Oh, my God. But oh man, you know what? I'm not even going to talk about that right now. He's going to get going on the fourth line. So we have that month. Let's go. Yeah, let's go another month and a half right here. Let's see what we can do. Let's grind some games. I mean, I can't keep on making line changes after every week. I just got to trust the team, and they've got to start to score some goals. So a 4-1 victory over Boston, a 2-0 victory over the Minnesota Wild, a 4-1 victory over Carolina. Here we go. Line changes made it better. We are 4-0-1 in our last 5. That's 5-0-1 in our last 6. Shootout victory over the Florida Panthers. 6-0-1 in our last 7. This is more like it. Some good line changes. See, I know, yeah. 7-0-1 in our last 8. I knew we had a good team. It was just about finding those. I think it was Jackson. Jackson Kostopoulos wasn't quite good enough. Although we just had a 5-0 loss and a 5-2 loss back-to-back. That's not good, boys. Come on. 3-game losing streak in regulation. That really hurts. I mean, it's nice to get back a win against Toronto, but still, man, we're at the point of that season where, I mean, an extended losing streak right now, it drops us out of the playoffs. 24-17, that ain't good enough. Come on, we got to start winning again. We have to start winning in bunches. That's what I like to see. 4 in a row again. Yeah, these are the lineups. These are the lineups. Jackson Kostopoulos is on the 4th line. I'm going to hurt his growth, but what are you going to do? He's young enough that you could put him back on the 1st line next year and he'll continue to grow. It's not going to stunt his growth permanently. It's just, if he was on the 1st line this year or the 2nd line and he was playing great, you'd see him jump up by next year compared to what he's doing right now, struggling on the 3rd and 4th line. He actually might be playing a lot better now, though, so that hopefully helps us out. So 2 in a row we lost against New Jersey and Dallas, but then look at that, another 3 in a row we win. So I got the lines set, boys. Our good team. We are a good team, and we showed it in that month. 31-19-2. I'm feeling a lot better about myself now. So we'll take it up to the trade deadline in this video because, yeah, we have a huge trade deadline with that 1st overall pick to make. And this has already been a long video. So Chicago, we're in the playoffs. We're in the playoffs by, what is that, 7 points. So we're looking good. Patrick Kane's production is fine. Let's take a look at these individual stats again. Yeah, I have to do this. Team stats. All right, so all these numbers should have gotten a lot better for us. Chicago, 2.67 goals, 4 per game. Goals against per game, 2.54. So that's way too close, man. It's weird. When we lose, we don't score. When we win, we score big. So the numbers are evening out. Power play percentage, 19%. So our power play went down. So, I mean, I made line changes. We started to win games. But that's so weird. So should I put Sanheim back on the 1st line power play and Jokiharju back on the 2nd? Don't know. Penalty kills, 75.8. So Taves are on it might just been Taser on the penalty kill. So away in last 10, 8-2-0. All right, beautiful. Well, I'm not going to make any line changes because, I mean, we're winning games. I don't want to mess with anything. But if we start to lose, I could make that power play change up. Forwards, all right, so 44 points, 41, 33, only 33 for DeBrincat, but they're all plus players. Nemesnikov, Bjorkstrand, and Taves, they're all plus players, and they're getting points. So see what I mean about the top 6? This top 6 works out for us. Nick Schmaltz, Jackson Kostopoulos, he's gone up. He was a -15, he's now a -14. So on the 4th line, he's playing good enough for us. Coleman, all right, yeah, all these guys, all right, so that's good. Defenseman. -9 for Jokiharju and Ekholm. So Jokiharju and Ekholm ain't playing the greatest. Duncan Keith having a good year. He's dropped down to 78 overall. Yeah, I'm hoping that this guy retires, man. He's got to retire at 78 overall, right? He's a depth defenseman now. I'm not going to change up the lines, though. I mean, I could, but no, I'm not. I don't want to change anything. We're winning games. And Sergei Bobrovsky, only a 915 save percentage. I was hoping for a little bit better out of Sergei Bobrovsky, but what are you going to do? Not the end of the world. Let's go to edit lines quickly. Just take a look at the AHL squad, see if we have any help that we could bring up, just in case. We've been pretty, you know what, I just jinxed it. I was going to say, we've been pretty lucky with injuries. We have only had 1 in the AHL squad, none of the NHL squad. So Andronov up to 79 overall. Pretty good. Janssen, 73. Kurt Adams. So we should leave these guys playing down here. Defenseman, Jensen is a 79. Top 6 defenseman. Yeah, here we go. We got somebody that we could bring up as a defensive defenseman for the playoff run if we need. He hits, he body checks. He's going to give the puck away a lot. If you take a look at his individual stats, his passing is good. His offensive awareness is not. He needs to get faster, though. Speed really helps out defense. He's physical. Yeah, it's just because he's so physical. He's really fit. His strength is 99. Holy crap. Now, I think this guy should continue to just dominate down there in the AHL. And goaltenders, Punanovs is up at 73 overall. All right. So let us just do the one last stretch up until the trade deadline. We can take a look at what we have. We know we have our 1st rounder. We'll do our due diligence. I'll show you guys who's on the trading block. And then we can go from there. So I'm not making any line changes. I like the way our team is playing right now. We have been able to pull ourselves 12 games above 500. We're also winning a lot in overtime. Come on now, boys. See what I mean? When we lose, like 1-4, or we get shut out. It's so weird, man. We're not losing that 3-2 game or that 4-3 game. We're winning those high-scoring games. 4-3 over the Vegas Golden Knights. Oh, there you go. 4-3 overtime loss against the St. Louis Blues. We got the point out of it. 5-2 victory up against the Colorado Avalanche, followed up by a 5-4 victory in the second half of that home and home. Up against Ottawa, 4-0 victory. All right, good. If we can just keep it 500 at this point, 12 games above 500, we will make it into the playoffs. So thank God we figured out those line changes. Sergei Bobrovsky is back-to-back shutouts running. Good job, buddy. And then he gives us a 1-goal against game, and we can't get him any offense. Good job, boys. Good job. They're 1-4 in the last 2 games. Oh, man. We could use some more offense. Definitely. We could use another stud. Maybe we could use Bachvist and Yokoharju growing to like 90 overall. That would help out the offense and the power play. Sarala is being placed on waivers. No, I don't need that. I'm going to decline that offer or decline that option. St. Louis Blues, a 2-1 victory. Man, we are not scoring any goals. That's our 3rd goal in the last 3 games, and we're 2-1. There you go. 2-0 victory. Man, Sergei Bobrovsky's coming into shape. Look at this. Shutout, 1 goal against, shutout, and then boom, 7. It could have also been the backup in there. But here we are, trade deadline with a record of 38-23-3. We're definitely stopping it here. We're not in the playoffs just yet. We're only 8 points in. And also, I think there is a big trade available this season for sure. So let's just do our due diligence once again. Take a look at the individual stats and see where we can go, what our options are. So Chicago scoring 2.64 and our goals against 2.5. See what I mean? Like those games that we're winning are so tight. It's good for the playoffs that we can win that tight game. We can win in overtime. But, oh my God. Power play percentage, 21.2. So our power play went back up. Power play is perfect where it is. Penalty kill continues to go up. Man, our penalty kill was so bad at the beginning of the season. We got to use Jonathan Toews on the penalty kill. That's what he's there for. I was trying it out, but no, it did not work. Player stats. What do we got here? What do we got? Forwards. All right, so Patrick Kane, 55 points. Panarin, 52. DeBrincat, 38. They're not point per game anymore, but the reason that is because the second line is scoring more. They're plus 19, plus 20, and plus 15, though. So that first line is great. Second line, Nemesnikov, Bjorkstrand, and Toews, they're all plus, and they're getting points now. Nemesnikov's got 36. Bjorkstrand's got 34. He's got 20 goals. Toews, 31. All right. Jackson Kostopoulos, my God, on the 4th line, he's dropped off another -4 in there. He's got 20 points, but, man, we can't find a way to get this guy going. Let's see what his takeaways to giveaways. He's definitely like a playmaker, it looks like. A two-way forward playmaker. You know what I think I got to do for Jackson? I got to give him a sniper to play alongside of. Like a Bjorkstrand. Or, it'll probably be Nemesnikov for traded off the team at the end of this year to save some cap space. And then Jackson moves into the second line position with Toews and Bjorkstrand or what's his name? Bjorkstrand and Panarin or something like that, right? Oh, man, that's rough. Kostopoulos, -18. Not a rookie of the year type season. Defenseman, Bachvist, all right, 36 points, doing good. Yokoharju, 18 points. Duncan Keith having a good year. All right, all these guys. And Sergei Bobrovsky, there it is. It's getting back up to the .920 save percentage, which is what you can expect out of a goaltender who's that good. So all the numbers are starting to come back around. We had a little bit of a iffy start, but once we found good enough lines, the team started to play good enough to be a playoff-bound team. But can we improve our chances at all? We don't have any salary available for a trade. I could dump some by trading a roster player, though. So let me just throw my first rounder in there. And I'll go through each team. We don't need a goaltender, so we'll just search by players only. And we'll see what's available, all right? We're not going to be getting a stud, but maybe a depth player for the 3rd or 4th line. Somebody who's like 80 overall, who we know plays well. Maybe a sniper for the 3rd line. Okay, so Colton Sissons, 80 overall. It's another two-way forward maybe, but I wouldn't want to waste a first rounder for that. But like a sniper for the 3rd line, to put alongside of Jackson Kostopoulos. You can go like Nick Schmaltz, Jackson, and a sniper then. Get some more offense. Erickson, no, we're not trading for that. Anthony Mantha, 88 overall. We will not be able to afford an $8 million contract. All right, Justin Schultz, Zetterberg. Zetterberg might be an interesting one because he's still 80 overall. All right. Games played 61, but I mean, you could throw him on the fourth line, and he would be. I know he'd be good for depth. Takeaways to giveaways. Yeah, they're probably just not playing him at all. He's only got 10 minutes time on ice, but he's going to be slow. Actually, he's not even that slow. I think Henrik Zetterberg would be a great pickup for the playoffs here, boys. It's just his physical category that's horrible. But you put him on the third or fourth line, and you bring up that poise category, and you can even put alongside of him Jackson Kostopoulos. That's not bad, man. That's not bad. I would like Zetterberg, actually. Lucic, no, we're not getting Milan Lucic. Let me just... Zetterberg 1 year, right? No contract extension? Yeah. Zetterberg 1 year, only 2.5, and I can get them to retain half of that cap. So that's not that bad. Lucic, all right. Vincent Trocheck, Stepan, Hoffman. Hoffman wouldn't be a bad, but 3 years left. I can't do that. Hoffman wouldn't be a bad guy to put alongside of Kostopoulos. Justin Williams, all right, another depth player, 80 overall. Yeah, this guy would be great for the playoffs, especially at Game 7. All right. Sutter, no. Niederreiter. Niederreiter, 1 year left. I don't think I can afford that 5.25. But if we could somehow trade away somebody for Nino Niederreiter, put Nino on the third line right wing, Jackson on the third line left wing, and then find a center, maybe or what's it, Nick Schmaltz or something like that, or even trade for Derek Brassard as well. Trade away Nick Schmaltz for Niederreiter and Brassard, or Eric Stahl. Yeah, there's a lot on Minnesota that we could go after. Les Montreal Canadiens, we got Brendan Gallagher, 6 years left at only at $3.3 million. That's a steal of a contract right there. Dano is not a bad one. PK Subban, no way I can afford that. Ryan Spooner, 83 overall. He's not bad in this. Bailey and Nyquist, Shattenkirk, Smike Stahl, Anisimov. All right, so some depth. Formenton, now 74 overall. JVR, no, I can't afford that contract. Wayne Simmons can't afford any of these contracts. Tyler Myers, they're looking to trade him away. Addison, no. Chris Tanev, no, I'm not taking on any defenseman. We're okay right there. Ryan O'Reilly, that would be nice, but I can't afford $7.5 million. Adam Ernie, no. Adam McQuaid, no. Carrick, no. Just a bunch of defensemen. Lacerte, no. Clymer, no. Niskanen, Parise, he's got 4 years left. That's not a good idea to bring him on the team. Fistrick. All right, so if I had to choose one team here, what was it again? Hang on a second. It was Detroit. Zetterberg wouldn't be a bad pickup, and it would be cheap. I mean, I could get him with like a third and like a player I haven't signed just yet. And who was the other one? It wasn't PK. It wasn't Gallagher. Was it Minnesota? Niederreiter, yeah. So Niederreiter and Zetterberg. Niederreiter would be the guy that I use my first overall pick for. I'd have to trade away a roster player as well with a lot of salary, try to fit it in somehow. And Justin Williams as well. Justin Williams and Zetterberg, or what's his name? Niederreiter. All right, that's the way I see it. So what do you guys think about that? Get Zetterberg to play alongside of Jackson Kostopoulos. We have another depth player in there, and I know I can afford that contract, 2.5, and I can get them to retain half of it and then trade a roster player who's making the same. So what do you guys think? Let me know, and I will make those decisions. We'll get into the playoffs, and we'll see if we can get one more Stanley Cup for Patrick Kane, Jonathan Toews, and yes, the man who did not get traded, Duncan Keith. Let me know, boys, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey guys, Johnny here, and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give us a like, hit that subscribe button, and make sure notifications are on so you don't miss out on any new content. We also live stream on Twitch where I take days off my life for your entertainment. Sonny Gray, get out of it. You stupid pieces of shit! I should have gone with Jose for Fernandez! Oh my God, pitching change. Fernandez, get your ass in there. Oh, I swear to God, baseball God just decided to all over me. Grand slam, oh yeah. Make me miss the playoffs with a first-ranked team. Year 2, 30 games above 500, no divisional win, trip to the wild card. First inning.